So since a lot of you are joining our family, we wanted to make the transition a little easier. So OnePlus Switch is also going to compatible with the iPhone. So this is the way how we welcome you to join OnePlus. So we are proud of Oxygen OS and update coming to existing the OnePlus users. So since the launch of the Oxygen OS, our team has prioritized pushing out the stable and reliable software updates. So by giving our team the space and time, they need to deliver a high quality updates, and users can enjoy a solid software experience whenever we push out the major Android updates. So what does that mean for the updates everyone's talking about? So here's what's happening with the Android Oreo. We never release any of our software updates without running them by our most dedicated users. So later this month, OnePlus 5 users around the world will be able to try out Android Oreo in open beta. You can download this from our forum. With your help, we will look to squash the last remaining bugs and glitch before pushing out the public updates to Oreo. So when will that go down? Android Oreo will come to OnePlus 5 in early 2018. And we cannot talk about Oreo without talking about our latest flagship offering. So whenever we release a new device, our team needs to test and optimize the software experience to make sure it's truly reliable. A combination of new hardware and a lack of user input make developing software for a new device more difficult than developing software that's already in the hands of users. We believe it's always better to release a solid update at a later date than pushing out the buggy updates early. Therefore, Android Oreo will also arrive on the OnePlus 5T open beta late December. So we are pretty excited to get everyone started on the Oreo in 2017. Oh, wait. Damn, I just said the OnePlus 5T. It's not started yet. So I think I just need more information of the OnePlus 5T. So I want to bring up our co-founder, Carl Pei, to the stage. Thank you.
What's up, New York? In a month, we'll be celebrating our 4th anniversary, but it feels way longer than that because so many things have happened. Let's go back to how it all started. We were a group of product people, engineers, and marketers, all working in the smartphone industry, and all had ideas on how things could have been done better. But I don't think any of us thought about actually doing something ourselves, because creating a smartphone brand seemed like such a difficult thing to do. But back in 2013, the smartphone industry was not in a good place. It felt like Android brands competed on who could have the most features, but they didn't really care about design or user experience. That's why we were all using iPhones. And we realized what a great opportunity we had here. What if we could combine the openness of Android with Apple's focus on design, polish, and user experience? I mean, there must be Android users out there who also care about these things, right? So in December that year, we announced our ideas to the world without even having a product. We also announced our tagline, never settle. And to our surprise, a lot of people seemed to agree with us. They signed up to our community, they talked to us, and they supported us. Of course, there were also the skeptics who felt like we talked a really big talk and we couldn't actually deliver. We had no idea on how many would actually buy our product, so to control risk, we only made 1,000 phones in our first batch. And because we hadn't tested the phone globally, we didn't want to roll it out too quickly. So we created an invite system. You had to be invited by a friend to be able to buy our phones. And because we wanted our very first users to be the most loyal, we had a program where you had to sign up, smash your phone, and upload a video to YouTube to be eligible to be selected as one of the first 100 people to try our first product, the OnePlus One. It was kind of designed like a religious ritual. where you had to make a sacrifice to be able to join our movement. But in a week, 140,000 people actually signed up. And when signups were over, we surprised people by telling them that instead of smashing their phones, they could actually donate them to charity. But we didn't tell them until after the sign up because we wanted to test their commitment. Nevertheless, many people still insisted on smashing their phones anyway. So if you search OnePlus Smash the Past on YouTube, you'll still find plenty of videos of people smashing their phones. So here's a sample of them.
This is the homemade potato gun I will be using to shoot the Galaxy S5. So we have potato all over the back cover. We've got potato all over the screen.
Our first product became wildly popular. People were selling invites on eBay for as much as $400 in the beginning. And to be clear, they weren't selling the phone. They were selling the right to be able to buy them. It got to a point where we were like, hey, let's not let these assholes make money. Let's sell the invites ourselves and donate the money to charity instead. So we worked together with eBay and the UNICEF TAP project on selling invites for the OnePlus 2. We had originally projected to sell 30 to 50,000 phones in year one, but we ended with almost 1 million. And that's really a lot for a new brand. It also made us feel like we were already successful, that the hard work had paid off, and that we'd move on to a more mainstream audience. So with the OnePlus 2, we decided to remove NFC, despite our users asking for it. And on top of that, we decided to use the Snapdragon 810 processor. Early on, we knew that the thermal performance of the 810 wasn't very good. But with our newly gained cockiness from our successes in our first year, we were confident in our abilities to handle the 810 processor. Again, we couldn't build a good performance profile on the OnePlus 2 where speed and temperatures were balanced. Either it became too laggy or too hot. And in the end, the product wasn't received well. With the OnePlus 1 and OnePlus 2 being flagship phones, we felt the need to enter the mid-range segment so more people would have access to our products. So we made the OnePlus X, and it was a great product, but it moved us further away from our community. Recently, we asked one of our users whether they liked the OnePlus X, and they said yes. Then we asked them whether they buy it, and they said no. It turns out that our users chose OnePlus because we made high-end flagships, not anything else. So the results of 2015 weren't very great. It seemed like whatever we said or did was wrong, and we attracted a lot of criticism during this year. So as a result, we stopped communicating with our community because we lost confidence in ourselves. But there's a silver lining to this story. We learned the lesson of humility. We were lucky to have come out of this year alive. We no longer thought that highly of ourselves and began listening to feedback from our community again. In 2016, we went back to the drawing board, focused on flagship phones, fast performance, and quality software. We reconnected with our community again and started asking them for suggestions while using their input to improve our product. That was what Brian was talking about earlier. This led to the creation of the OnePlus 3 and the 3T, products rated by consumers and the press as two of the best phones of that year. So after 2016, OnePlus was back for real. And earlier this year, we released the OnePlus 5. It represented everything that we learned and was our most complete phone ever. It's been received positively by both the users and the media. And here are some comments from our users. And here are some comments from the media. So we talked a lot about our history, but I know but now it's time to bring it back into the present. I know a lot of you are excited about a particular announcement that we're making today. We don't believe in new and different technologies if they don't provide a meaningful user benefit. When we make a product decision, we ask ourselves, would this technology enable us to release a superior product? If the answer is yes, we should do it as soon as possible. Like software, hardware is always changing. If you had a great software update, you wouldn't wait half a year just to release it. Why would you wait with hardware? It's about delivering the latest technology today. And this is our approach with the T line. But what does T actually mean? To be honest, our team just had a little bit of fun. There's a certain other company that has an S line. And S plus 1 equals T. And hey, we're OnePlus, right? So without further ado, this is OnePlus 5T.
Open your eyes. The things you see today are tomorrow's future history. But the evolution when the view changes, you'll fall behind. Technology over evolution. It's the outreach to speed. Capture it, share it. The innovations of tomorrow. Possible. Open your eyes. Can you see it? Let us capture it together.
So what do you think? Isn't it beautiful? The screen is amazing. And I know we're a little bit late to the game. We're not the first brand to have come out with an immersive screen. But most of you here should be aware of some of the recent controversies surrounding smartphone displays. We all know how hard it is to get the screen right. We wanted to wait until we could get the quality screen that matches our expectations and yours. And now, I'd like to invite Simon, our product manager, to talk about what's new for the OnePlus 5T.
Thank you, Carl. Hi, everyone. My name is Simon, and as one of product managers at OnePlus, I was involved in development of OnePlus 5T. And the thing that gets me excited the most is our new display. When we decided to release OnePlus 5T, it didn't sound like such a big deal, but when you actually go hands-on with it, it's incomparable to anything else I had used before. It's hard to describe just how much more immersive and natural the feeling is once you switch from 16:9 ratio to 18:9 ratio display. The closest comparison I can think of is switching from a tube TV to a wide flat screen. That moment deeply changed the way we look at our television, and it's the same with our new full optic AMOLED display. It's impossible for me to switch back to a smaller one. When we launched the OnePlus One, many of our users were a little bit concerned whether the 5.5 inches display is not too big to handle. And now we are releasing a phone with 6 inches display, and probably many of you have the same concern. But the OnePlus 5T screen is 12.5% larger than the one you can find on OnePlus 5, but the form factor of the device remains the same, so it's no larger than OnePlus 5. When you're using OnePlus 5, though, numbers don't really matter, because what you will notice most is how much more immersive the display is. It truly feels like you are a part of next technological leap forward. Since adopting AMOLED display 3 years ago, our display has been gotten better and better, and we are confident that with OnePlus 5T, we are bringing the best OnePlus display yet. Have you guys ever struggled to use phone under the harsh light? I hope so, because now we have a solution for this problem. Our new full optic AMOLED display features new sunlight display that adapts automatically to ambient light and create an optimal viewing experience depending on what you're doing. So when you're gaming, contrast is increased to help you focus. And similar adjustments are done when you are browsing gallery or taking a photo. Sunlight display adjusts the screen to best fit your experience, as well as keep your screen clear in harsh light. While many of our users enjoy our default screen calibration, we know that it's very important to be able to give users an opportunity to adjust. So our sRGB and DCI-P3 display calibration both have been carefully optimized to display a specific color space. Our work with OnePlus 5T took us in several directions. We were confident that we can deliver an immersive display, but exactly how the display would affect other key components was a learning process. And finally, we decided to move fingerprint scanner on the back of the device. It made sense because the display looks and feel way more immersive when there is no obstructions on the front. But since the OnePlus 2, we've always had fingerprint scanner on the front, as this is very natural place for thumb, especially when the phone is face up on a table. So actually having to move it to the back sucked but sometimes you have no choice but to compromise. Except we didn't, because we always had double tap to wake. I'm sure you guys are not sure what I'm talking about, but let me show you. And the phone is unlocked. And I suppose you have not seen what just happened. Focus on this little smiley. This is our new feature, which we call face unlock. With the face unlock, you can unlock your phone in just 0.4 seconds. Let's look at it one more time. It is basically instant, and it's one of the fastest facial recognition features on any smartphone. It is also incredibly reliable. By memorizing over 100 facial identifiers, face unlock can detect your face when you're wearing a scarf or making a funny face. I'm quite good at making funny faces, so I would like to show you guys. Unlock as well. As long as face unlock can detect your eyes and nose, it's 99% success rate. However, safety is our primary concern, and we refuse to take any risk. So you can use your face unlock to unlock your device, but it won't work with apps that require sensitive information like payment apps. For those, you can rely on our speedy fingerprint scanner. Next, let's talk about design. A seamless all-metal chassis ensures that the OnePlus 5T is both functionally and visually slim, comfortable to hold, and extremely durable. It's pretty common, though, for a smartphone these days to look like an uninspired brick. So we did two things to avoid that. First, we arced the design of the OnePlus 5T, making the phone more ergonomic and flexible. Brought back the horizon line, edge that emphasizes strength and agility by dividing the phone body into two halves. One cast in light, the other one in shadow, for a truly stunning effect. Next up, we have an alert slider. It's easy to access and adjust. You don't even need to pick your phone out of your pocket. You can quickly set your phone to 3 notification profiles. Ring to receive all, do not disturb to receive priority calls, and silent when you really need to focus. And of course, there's something else we need to talk about. By your reaction, I can understand that many of you guys still use headphones with 3.5mm jack, right? Yeah. And that goes for most members of our community. choice of headphone model is incredible, and there's a pair of headphones for every pair of ears. But the one thing that they have in common is the 3.5 millimeter plug. And the number of USB Type-C accessories is still too limited to be considered a decent alternative. And that's why, of course, headphone jack will continue to feature on our devices until that happens. The OnePlus 5T, with its incredible immersive screen, is absolutely stunning. But just watching me use it on a big stage does not do the trick. So we recommend you guys to take your hands on the device soon and try it yourself. Another area I like to focus on is the camera. We are very proud to have one of the best dual camera setups on any smartphone. Based on what we have learned about our users and the way they use their camera, we have decided to improve two key aspects of the OnePlus 5T's dual camera. The first one is low light performance, and the second is portrait photography. In terms of hardware, the OnePlus 5T uses the same main camera as we all loved on OnePlus 5, but the second sensor is improved and now features the focal of 1.7, allowing the camera to capture more light and shoot clearer photos in low light conditions. But that's not all we've done to make sure your low light photos look better than ever. You probably already know that a sensor can only capture a specific amount of pixels of any given size, and the size of these pixels influence how the low light photography looks like. And to improve the low light performance, we have integrated what we call intelligent pixel technology in the OnePlus 5T's secondary lens. When ambient light drops to about 10 lux, the OnePlus 5T switches to a secondary rear lens, which combines 4 pixels into one and improves the clarity of the photos. Here are some low light photos shot on the OnePlus 5T. If you like to check them out, just visit OnePlus/Snap. But what about the portrait mode? On the OnePlus 5, it was one of the best received features we released. So, of course, we are bringing back to the OnePlus 5T, and it's better than ever. Both lenses on the OnePlus 5T's dual camera have the same focal length, and it allows you to capture more details in a background when shooting portraits. But that's not all. We've made a serious improvement to the software of the camera to improve the clarity of your photos. In most dual camera, portraits are cropped to compensate the difference in focal length between the primary and the secondary lens. And as a result, fewer details is captured and photos appear closer than if you make them in just like a regular camera mode. And as well as it's way harder to capture a perfect frame. But because the two sensors on the OnePlus 5T are identical aperture, no cropping is required. And take a look at the difference. Quite significant. Shooting a portrait takes no more than a few milliseconds, so you'll never notice the rhythm that improves your portrait in a background. Make sure it all looks. It's a lot of work to create a beautiful portrait, but the OnePlus 5T manages the entire process in less time than it takes you to blink. Let's see how the OnePlus 5T performs in practice. Our friend Kevin Abosch, who is known around the world for his portraits. You may know him for the portraits of the potato that he sold for over $1 million. He took to the streets of the New York City with the OnePlus 5T to put our dual camera to the test. Take a look. If you want to check out these and other portraits shown on OnePlus 5T, don't forget to visit OnePlus/snap. Stability is key to record smooth videos, so we knew we got to get EIS right on OnePlus 5. We made you guys wait a little, but we had to make sure our EIS feature is one of the best in the industry. A lot of you share very specific feedback on how to improve our stability feature, which we use to push EIS